Hello and shalom. This is Brother Dwight, and before I get it kicked off, quick announcement. The KJBU is not affiliated or associated or tied to any other organization. The KJBU stands alone in its teachings that comes from the deacons, elders, and brethren, and not to be associated or confused with any other doctrine that's out there outside of the KJBU. Moving forward. Again, this is Brother Dwight, and we are going to be looking at the children of a eunuch and where that eunuch stands. So, from the top down, originally, I thought a eunuch was someone, male or female, that could not or would not produce children according to the flesh. However, thanks to the deacons and elders at the KJBU, a clearer understanding was brought forth. And this eunuch, which will, let's just look at it, the spiritual dictionary here. Come on, there we go. Don't need that. And we're gonna just jump to the E's, and it'll help if I do this. Just gonna look at this eunuch real quick, so y'all can be on the same page. Here we go. So this eunuch, it's a chief, officer, a steward, a chamberlain, and what I'm focusing on, all of these are a servant, an official attendant. Key here is what's not said here. What is it a servant of? That's what I'm going to be looking at and bringing forth to you all today. Just kind of be on this journey with me. As I learn, we learn together. Same boat. So, this title of a servant, which is a eunuch, whichever suits your fancy, really, it's neutral in meaning. They are referring to the eunuch or servant, or a servant like Adam was a servant in the beginning. And yeah, he was the type of servant they got the boot from Eden. Also, could be a servant like JEHOVAH was a servant of JEHOVAH, which many of us are. And again, since Adam on down the line till today, these same two types of servants, eunuchs, have been in operation among the people of the world. From there, we are going to kick this off at Matthew 19 and 12 right here. And it reads, "For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it." Starting at the top. Born from their mother's womb. As previously mentioned, Adam and JEHOVAH, we are going to look at Team Heaven, because there's Team Heaven and Team Hell. And we're going with Team Heaven for right now. And we all know who the number one eunuch was for Team Heaven. And pulling from the Hall of Fame, Luke 1 and 30 is where we're going here. As soon as I can get, did not mean to click that. Dog it, I knew that was going to happen. Uno momento, as soon as this wheel stops spinning, we can keep it kicking. But we're heading over to Luke 1:30 and 31. Okay, we're back. Luke 30. Yeah, Luke 1 and 30. So let's get down here. And let's fix that zoom. Oh. Alright, and it reads Luke 1 and 30 and 31. And the angel, the messenger, said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God. 31. And behold, remember, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, servant, which we know now, eunuch, and shalt call his name, his way, Jesus, salvation. From there, we are going to look at Luke 2, so the very next chapter, at the things that when he really just started to shine, basically. And skip it on down. Okay, here we go. Starting at Luke 2 and 41. Now his parents went to Jerusalem, talking about JEHOVAH, went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. 42. And when he was 12 years old. I was into foolishness. Just quick pause. I was into foolishness at 12 years old. Video games and etc. Meanwhile, JEHOVAH over here, 12 years old, born from the womb. Continuing, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And here's where it gets interesting. 43. And when they had fulfilled the days, as they returned, the child, 12 years old, Jesus, JEHOVAH, tarried behind in Jerusalem. Complete thought. 12 years old, he decided, hey, I'm finna hang out here. Y'all go do what you do. And Joseph and his mother knew not of it. He's just hanging out like, made this firm decision. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. Y'all got it. Alright, so now skipping down just a little bit to 46. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. Quick pause. 3 days sitting with these doctors. And let's check out who these doctors are. Physicians, healers, doctors, priests, ministers, Levites, elders. Man, of God, male and females of God, apostles. And we're seeing the trend here. He's sitting with these mouthpieces of God, learning 3 solid days while his parents out there looking for him because they didn't know he made the decision. Pushing forward, 47, and all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. 48, and when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, remember, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. 49, and he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my father's business? From the womb, 12 years later, he already know. Must be about my father's business. This is from the womb. Jumping back over to Matthew 19 and 12. Going to look at the next section here because this was from the womb. Now, those that are made of men, which lightly touched on it in Luke 2, and when he was sitting there talking to those doctors, those are those men from God. And reason why we have those men, which the verse, I just want to run to this one. Jeremiah 3. Yep, I think the wheel's on the way. Yep, there it is. Yeah, Jeremiah 3:15. This is why we have those men. And it reads, I'll throw 14 in there as well. Jeremiah 3:14 and 15, and it reads, Turn, O backsliding children, said the Spirit of God, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city, and 2 of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. 15, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And these are those men, those doctors, which are going to feed us, help us get on and remain on that right path. Interesting thing about these doctors, these mouthpieces provided by the Lord and giving us his wisdom outside of our daily armor that we get on our own. They come in a variety of characters, and they keep it interesting. Some funny, some smoother than melting butter. Hashtag Deacon Bears. Some rougher than sandpaper. However, all bring that much needed word that will get us and keep us on the right path, providing that is what we want to hold to as servants, eunuchs. Jumping back to Matthew 19, Matthew 19 and 12, which I believe I passed it. There we go. And here we go. So we covered from the mother's womb, made of men, which just needed that part, made of men. And then this third one and there be eunuchs which made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. So this, you're just tired of being tied. And if anyone has ever been in a relationship where things are going a certain way and you've been putting up with it because of XYZ reason, and you finally just threw up your hands and dusted, like, you know what? You got it. You do you, bro. Male or female. Yeah. Living according to the flesh. Jumping back to uh, Jeremiah 3:15. Nope, 14. Which, yeah, I'm not there yet. There we go. Your turn. Old backsliding children. That's it. This is actually a funny line because let me tell you what. Backsliding. Just we're on the way to learning something. No, that's not the one. Backslide. There we go. Degenerate. That was me. Oh, yeah. Living according to the flesh as a degenerate, corrupt, just, yeah, disloyal. Because at some point, as a child growing up, yeah, well, I heard it, but it was not regarded. And at that point, immediately disloyal to God, whether I knew it or not, made me a degenerate. Anywho, back to it. Yeah, made themselves uh, eunuchs for the kingdom. So, turned from our ways of the flesh and turned to seek God, Jehovah, His truth. In doing so, we left our foolishness in the past, that old man, forsaking the flesh that way, and sincerely was fed up with that and started searching. This is how it went for me. Now, Hebrews 11 and 10 is going to illustrate what we were searching for. Let's get this right real quick. There we go. Hebrews 11 and 10. For he looked for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker is God. Because, yeah, the world's foundation is confusion. They love it. They thrive on it. They spread it like pigs in the mud. Got tired of that. So, Hebrews 11 and 10, when searching for the foundation, whose builder and maker is God. So let's take a look at Matthew 19 and 12 in the reverse order, which is how many of us made it to this point, to being in the truth and holding to it. Made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake, fed up with the world. Going up, made of men, made eunuchs of men, ran into those mouthpieces over that were provided at Jeremiah 3:15. And I'll give you passages according to mine heart, as we covered. From there, yeah, a spiritual, sort of. However, the example provided by JEHOVAH, yeah, we may not be 12 years old again. However, the example left by him is what we can strive to replicate and hold to, which is a very easy way to kind of see if we're in accordance. Because starting this journey before coming into the full truth at the KJVU, I just kind of modeled what I was doing based off of what I found of what he was doing. Like, I didn't see him smoking or getting drunk or, rolling with the harlots. Like, hey, yeah. It's so, yeah, those were the easy things to just kind of chop off the old block there. And bearing in mind, uh, Proverbs 8 and 17, being fed up and starting this journey and searching, since it's, okay. All right, here we go. Proverbs 8 and 17. Here's what he has to say. I love them. I promise them that promise me. So I love them that love me. And those that seek me early shall find me. Hey, being alive and able to start the search, that's early. When you're dead, it's too late. Simple as that. So early is being alive and having a willingness to seek them out. From here, should he allow it, referring to Jehovah, God, should he allow it, this search brings you to his angel to be made in his image. And I'm not 100% positive on how God has set the system up, by the way. But as I've mentioned, this is how it's gone for me, and I imagine many others. Back to it. Upon soaking in the water from the angels, that knowledge, we begin to walk in the example, as I've mentioned, kind of model after Yahushua, what he left, to know which way to kind of turn initially until that water was ingested. And this was with willingness and strong resolve that was displayed by Yahushua as he did for Jehovah. This is the same thing that we are to display and have a sincerity with as we walk. Yeah, and be about our Father's business. About that life. But for a hot minute, a little something about myself that many don't know. For a hot minute, I was considering living carnally by let me show you. Jeremiah 16:2. This is for a hot minute, and it's still kind of teetering. Jeremiah 16:2, thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place. Carnally, this is gonna be me. I was not interested in a wife, and yeah, this part I'm still, yeah. Anywho, but yeah, I was gonna go by this and move to a monastery in Germany, like in one of the mountains. I'm Ernst. So serious. But anywho, off of that, back to it. Now we have come to this point about this womb. Yahweh's are not the only thing coming out of that womb. The spiritual womb. And what do I mean by that? As mentioned earlier, Adam is also coming out of there. So, and actually, let's jump over to that real quick. It's a little out of place. Oh yeah, this is actually it. Yeah. All right. So Genesis 25 and wait, where's the? Yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Genesis 25. There we go. And 22. And this is Rebecca. And the children, Genesis 25 and 22, and the children struggled within her. And we know these children are these words, struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Spirit of God. And 23, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and the 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. We can cut it at the complete thought right there. Because as mentioned before, this eunuch, this servant, it's neutral. And here it's letting us know 2 manner of people. These 2 customs and ways. And let's look at manner real quick, like in 2 fashion, customs, forms, styles, 2 modes. We got demon time and angel time. That's how we move in here. Yep. Customs, practices, ways, fashions. 2 sorts, 2 kinds. Manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And this is holding strong today. Otherwise, yeah, it'd be a perfect world. And we know how close to that we are. Pressing forward. Verse I like to run to that further explains what's happening here, why it's 2 manner. Galatians 5:17. Here's what we're looking at. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. Because we are called to live by the Spirit, because, again, Matthew 19:12, the bottom of it, being done, being made, let's just get to it real quick. Yeah, made ourselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. Yeah, done with flesh. So yeah, we are turning to the Spirit solely. In Galatians 5:17, spirit against the flesh, flesh against the spirit, contrary one to another, and that is not it. There we go. Contrary one to another. Adding to that, coming from a word salad of a prophet in Romans 7. I think the wheel's about to pop up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Romans 7:17 through 20. It explains it, but it is definitely a complicated way, but it definitely explains it at the same time. But Galatians 5:17 sort of clears it up and make it simple. But for those that may want to see, you'll get it if you get it. So Romans 7:17 through 20, and it reads, Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. 18. For I know that in me, clarification, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. More clarification. For to will is present with me, complete thought, but how to perform that which is good, I find not. Because the flesh wants to do what it wants to do. 19. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. And confusing but clear. 20. Now if, providing, I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. And again, that's the flesh. And all this is summed up in Galatians 5:17. For the flesh lusted against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, that you cannot do the things that you would. Because the flesh definitely just wants to do what it wants to do. And should we allow it, it will run rampant. So, from that note, knowing two manner of people, flesh against the spirit, spirit against the flesh, that internal war that we deal with every single day, brings about a few things. Where am I going? Let's close all this real quick. Deuteronomy. And we are going to start looking at the flip side, because we just hit the middle ground. Deuteronomy, wheel again. There we go. Deuteronomy 23:1. So, for Team Heaven, got Yahweh following Jehovah, blazing the path that we should follow for Jehovah. However, the middle ground, the clarification, Deuteronomy 23:1. He that is wounded in the stones, which is the truths, the stone is a truth, which we can show that now. I guess I should have waited right there. Let's get to it. Rock, yeah, which, and it actually ties to it. Rock, stone, that our Jehovah is our refuge, our place of comfort and safety, the foundation, our strength, and yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Here we go. That temple. But being wounded in the stones, it's now a stumbling block if you're wounded in it. But wounded in that belief, what you believe in, your path, your way guide, if you're wounded in that, or have the privy member cut off, which originally I thought I was thinking carnal on that, privy member for the male. However, this is real resolve. Having that resolve cut off, shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Clear, cut, and dry. Then from there, there's the flip side of the hall of fame of eunuchs, or servants of the flesh, that simply don't care. Some are in the middle, And then there's the other side that just clearly don't care. And to see that, let's close this for those that have this app and you want to close them all at the same time. Learning something on the way to learning something. Yeah. Click here. Close top level bookmarks. Boom. Real snappy. Back to it. Genesis. Yeah. Flip side Hall of Fame. Adam and Eve. Genesis 2 and 23. So let's pop there real quick. And just gotta get there. There we go. Alright, Genesis 2 and 23. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. And that bone of my bones. Let's see what he's talking about. His power, strength, unity, the integrity, his kinsmanship. And yeah. Come on. His righteousness, justice, uprightness. That's what he deems as fair. Yeah. His wisdom and maturity is yeah. Again, this is Adam's bone of his bones and flesh of his flesh. Next verse, 24. Therefore shall a man, male or female, leave his father and his mother, Yahweh, God, Jehovah, the mother, that fruit bearer, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh, one, that unity, a unified flesh. 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed, being naked. So close. Yeah, I'm covered. Not what I'm looking for. Barren field. Fruitless. Not exactly what I was looking for, but it does serve a purpose. Yeah, revealed in sin. Talking about Adam here. Yeah, bald mountain here. Barren. But the key point was, we're not ashamed. We're proud of it. This is that left side. And this is the type of servant we do not want to be. Another example of this, well, yeah, not even too far away. Genesis 4, 1 and 2, and 7 and 9. Starting off at 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, complete thought, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Spirit of God. 2. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. As y'all see, I like going here, being a tiller. But too fast. husbandry of the ground. And we know the ground is people. Working the people. Again, cultivating the ground. And now let's prove the point. Wait. Let's get to it. Mortality, humanity. Keying in on what we're looking for. Ground, land, people, the earth. This is what he liked to work. Jumping down. Okay, here's the part I want to get to. About being this servant of the flesh, which that kind of proved the point. However, I wanted to take it one step further. What is that? Get out of here. 7 through 9. Really keying in on 9. But while we're here, if, provided thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? This eunuch, this servant, that wants to aspire to be a servant of the spirit, but serving the flesh. Moving forward, and if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they, let's get this right, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Here's the verse I wanted to look at, 9. Just wanted to get that little background in there. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? No New Jack City, but between Adam and Eve at verse 25, naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed, and Cain right here after slaying his brother, am I my brother's keeper? Running the same disobedience of violence against God. Why do I say violence? Here we go. Not what I'm looking for. But yeah, it's a hand in fire. Not what I'm looking for. Not it. Close. Boom. This evil, this wickedness, this destruction is ruin to themselves and everybody that came after. Here we are in flesh. This is what they brought. Bear in mind, this is Adam and Eve, Cain, all the way to today. These same two types. Adam, Cain, Eve. Eve is still alive and kicking. Within these servants, these eunuchs of the flesh. Yeah, but we're aspiring to be more like JEHOVAH, following that image for JEHOVAH. Pressing forward. Yeah, they chose violence against God. And this goes for anyone in and out of truth. Are we perfect? No, because we don't know what we don't know. And that's just facts. We do not know what we don't know. Yeah, we like to think that we know everything that we do know, like to its entirety, but truth is, we don't. We're always learning. If we are knowingly doing sin, though, of the things that we do know, then Proverbs, well, actually, just a little something something that we should know if we did not know. Gotta throw it out there now. Proverbs 30:8. He wants us to remove far, or it reads, remove far from me vanity and lies. And what did Cain just do? Am I my brother's keeper? I know not. Lie. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food, the nourishment convenient for me. And why do I say nourishment? The learning, custom, substance, nourishment, that meat, the doctrine that's good for Jehovah, which comes from Jehovah. He only wants what he gives out. He wants his money back. And that money is his wisdom. He wants that back. So, however, going back to the original thought, if we are knowingly sinning, that's going to bring us to Hebrews. Let's get this close again. Did I pass it? No, here we go. Hebrews 10 and is it 20? Yes, 26. 26 and 27. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, then remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. And what are those sacrifices? Let's spell that. No more gifts, no more forgiveness, no more grace for sin. Actually, let's go all the way to sacrifice so we can work it backwards from there. Just in case. Just covering bases at this point. So yeah. Established covenant. It's broken at that point. Which actually ties back to, I'll get to that one, show that one in a section. No more redemption. And let's run it. What's the redemption? Just to really snuff it out here. Which ties to, again, forgiveness, salvation, reconciliation, excuse me, atonement. Where is it? Almost. There we go. No more atonement, no sacrifice to God, not forgiving, no pardon. Is you're not off the hook. That's none of us are off the hook if we willfully do it. So again, Hebrews 10:26. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more forgiveness for sins. 27. But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which is wrath, anger from God, which shall devour the adversaries. And we do not want to be an adversary of Jehovah, of God. And what is the adversary? Tying us to a beast, which just brought something to mind. Show that in a second. But it's an enemy of God. tying us to Satan, which, yeah, tying us to that eunuch for him, that servant for him, foe, enemy of God, should we willfully do something. And that verse that came to mind, this was not in here, but just gonna show it real quick. Like, where is that? Yeah, I went too far. Wait a minute. There we go. And it's somewhere in here. Hang on. Is that? No, it's 3. It's 3. Tying to beast. Where is it? Somewhere down here. Okay, wait. I think I just passed it. Okay. Yeah. Starting at 19. Oh, nope, 18. Ecclesiastes 3 and 18. I'm just going to read this for a little bit. And I said in mine heart, concerning the estate of the sons, servants of men, so servant flesh, that God might manifest them, and they might see that they themselves are beasts. What's happening here? 19. For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts, complete thought. Even one thing befalleth them. As one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they have all one breath, so that a man hath no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. And while we're here, I spell that right? Or was it an E? Yep, 2 E's. Okay. There we go. What is this preeminence? Oh, nope, not there. Okay. What is it time to? Okay. Foremost, the chief, not a primary of the other. Firstborn. Okay. First works, first foremost. Yeah. It's not before. It's not a. It's equal. But yeah, that's for the eunuch, the servant of flesh. Jumping back into it, looking at the servant of JEHOVAH, that eunuch, what's desired? Wisdom of Solomon 3:14. There we go. Wheel. Pardon my wheel. Here we go. Wisdom of Solomon 3:14. Let's get to it. Might need to stop clicking. Okay. And blessed or wise, given wisdom and knowledge, is the eunuch, the servant, which with his hands powers hath wrought no iniquity, nor imagined wicked things against God. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith and an inheritance in the temple of the Creator, more acceptable to his mind. And this is coming right behind Hebrews 10:26, if we willfully sin. So the contrast, if we bring no iniquity or think no wickedness against God, this is our special gift, faith and an inheritance more acceptable to his mind. For those that do not wish to do this, this is what they are doing. I'm going to show it really quick, like in Jeremiah 15:6. Here is what they are doing, or if I should ever do it. Thou hast, and it reads, Thou hast forsaken me, said the Spirit of God. Thou art beauty and perfection, gone backward. Therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee and destroy thee. I am weary of repenting, of remembering. Yeah. And remember back in, I think about it myself. um, checking the notes real quick, like, to see. I know it was right after Abel. That indignation. This is what comes from that part of that indignation when he's gonna put his hand against us should we willfully sin. Which I do believe that might have been Hebrews. Yeah, Hebrews 10:26. So yeah, that's tying those together. Hebrews 10:26 and 27, and Jeremiah 15:6. And I'm really looking for Hebrews here, so I can just show it one more again. No more sacrifice, and yeah. Once he stretches his hand against us, that's going to be the beginning of that. What we got to look forward to, that fearful looking for judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. Pressing forward, flipping back to the positive side. Exodus, get to 20 and 6. In the Spirit of God, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love, promise me, and keeping my commandments. Keeping my commandments. Following that image that has been laid forth, following his word that he has abundantly bestowed upon us. And it's up to us to keep it. And I just want to highlight real quick, mercy unto thousands. Yeah, count the number of people alive on earth at this moment. Yeah, in thousands. This is less than one heavily populated American city compared to the world. More than rare opportunity that we have here. So, from here, going on over to Sirach, too far. There we go. Sirach 10, and that says 10, but here we go. Now, with this rare opportunity that we have, this breaks down what type of eunuch we're going to be based on our actions, which the foot race, the foot coming from the heart. Spiritually speaking. Sirach 10:19. They that fear the Lord, the Creator, are a sure seed, which is going to tie us to offspring, to disciple, but I can also show it. seed. And right there, children, offspring, lineage. But I want to get to the actual word, offspring, descendant, children again. Yeah, okay. And now what I'm looking for. Not it. Remnant. Faithful followers. Ones escaped. Yeah, from where? The world. Time back to Matthew 19:12. Made themselves eunuchs. Led to those mouthpieces. Here we go. Offspring. And from offspring, let's get to it. And I'm going backwards. Boom. Seed. Descendants. Children. What are the children? And as you see, they're all just looping. It's looping. Uh-oh, here we go. Fruits, workers, offspring, disciples, follower. And which is really also eunuch. Because follower, eunuch, servant, they are tied together. But back to Sirach 10 and 19. They that fear the Lord are a sure seed, and they that love promise him an honorable plant. So you are rooted in there. They that regard not the law, willfully sinning, are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Well, that's it. I think I put it right here. I'm gonna cut it right here. But yeah, we see what it is. This eunuch, this servant, what we hold him to as a servant, a steward, an official attendant. Are we attending to the flesh, or are we attending to Jehovah? Balls in our court every day, every moment. But ultimately, it comes down to what we want. And you'll see. I push it pretty heavy because it's something that weighs on me every day. What do I want? I want to hold to Jehovah. I want to hold to this flesh. Killing it off. That's why it's important every day. Because it creeps up so fast. But hopefully, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope someone was edified. Got some clarification on what this eunuch servant, this expectation is, and a better understanding. I thank you for your time, and shalom.